So did you pat these down with?
Yes.
I'm gonna let you do it, and then I'll just tell you how to do it. So we've been doing. Woo! That's nasty. So much for being clean. 3 viewers already. Hello everyone. Core's down here. My faithful companion, Stefan, visiting from the great state of Michigan. And he can't be seen because you're hiding off camera. Alright, so Stefan is gonna, we got about 40 pounds of Boston butt here, the shoulder of a pig. And what we're going to do is we're going to get these ready to smoke. He's already washed them off and patted them dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk him through it. He's going to do it. And we're going to first start off with the application. Alright, so basically we're going to use mustard to keep the spices on the meat for the duration of the smoke. Get these out of the way here. Yeah, these work. Yep. We're gonna have to throw that bottle out now that it's touched pork. It's fine, we're gonna end up using the whole thing anyway. So tonight, guys, we're gonna be doing 40 pounds of pork shoulder. And then we have 8 sets of St. Louis style ribs we're going to be doing as well. We're going to be working throughout the night. Stefan's going to take a siesta, and after we get everything up to temperature, you guys can't see it right now, but over here our Weber is in the background, but our Oklahoma Joe is over here. I actually need to throw some more pecan wood on it. We had some technical difficulties today, and we were not able to show the brisket that we got on board, but we can show it later on when we open this thing up to put the butts in. Right now I'm just using some pecan wood and some cherry wood. Lighter woods are pretty good for pork products and beef. If you're just doing beef, you might want to go with something with maybe like an oak or a hickory. Go ahead and swap the camera out here. There we go. Sorry folks, I had the wrong camera up. So we're going to coat all sides with the mustard. Now here's the thing about mustard. This thing smokes for so long, you're not going to taste the mustard. It's really, honestly, just a binding agent. The vinegar in the mustard is going to tenderize the meat a little bit, but just get that puppy in every nook and cranny. All right, I'm done with the smoker for right now. I'm going to put some charcoal in it though. Whew. Getting some heat back in the smoker. We run everything at 225 degrees in the smoker. I don't know what that is Celsius for you UK folk. What we're going to do is we're going to use Bad Brian's. If I can get that in there. Bad Brian's butt rub, as well as a mixture of that, and we're going to use Honey Rub That Butt. Here we go. Honey Rub That Butt. Both of these can be found at Pepper Palace. If you don't have a local Pepper Palace in your city, you can actually buy all these spices offline. Each one of them is about $9. This one around about $15. So we're going to go ahead and cover these. Get up a little bit here. There we go. We're going to cover these pretty thorough. Okay, we need more of a flow here. So, I mean, this is thick. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put this on there. Go ahead and pat that down. Stand it up on one side, and I'll just get the sides. There we go. Rub that in there. Nice back. Now, you don't want to get it in the folds. If you get the spices in the folds, it does not taste good when you eat that part of the meat for whatever reason. I'll pat that down. Each one of these are 9 pounds. Bone in for that flavor. So I can try to see if I can get that closer, but I can't. All right, and how does that look? All right, you want to get that everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these in the smoker. We're not even going to stick them with a thermostat for the first few hours. We're gonna smoke them. Swap that out with something else. Move that over. Move that. It's like swap them. There you go. I'm just trying to get the one we're working on right here. And now, if you folks have any questions about barbecue, temperatures, how to do something, we've already started marinating some salmon. We got some salmon and some chicken marinating. Sorry, we have the chicken marinating and we have the salmon brining. Come on. Over there. You'll be very, very loose with this spice. Just go to town with it. Woo! Nice. Also, you're going to want to pay attention to which side is the fat side, because when it gets barky, you're not going to be able to tell. Okay. Because that side is what's going to go down. So I was talking earlier about what side to put the fat up or fat down when you smoke something, and it scientifically comes down to where the heat source is in your smoker. We have an offset smoker, so the heat's coming from below. I have some tuning plates inside of the offset smoker to evenly distribute the heat. So we always want to put fat down in a offset smoker. Now when you get into a higher end smoker like a Yoder or something where the heat source comes from the top, you're going to want to put the fat up top, flip it upside down. It's a common misconception that the fat is going to render down and the gravity is going to put that fat all over the meat. That is not the case. What's going to end up happening is you're going to have some overcooked meat with some fatty topping. We do not want that. Right here. There we go. That bone. Well, the good thing about a pork shoulder, or it's called a pork butt, but it's actually from the shoulder of the pig, is with that bone in. That bone is the telltale sign of when your meat's done. Because if you can reach into that and just pull as soon as you can pull that bone out without any friction whatsoever, your butt is done. All right.
I got the fat facing up right now on all of them.
On all of them?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Like I was telling him earlier, want to pay attention to which side the fat's up, because when you get it all barky, you really can't tell which side had the layer of fat. With the brisket earlier, we went ahead and cut down the fat off the brisket, but with a butt, you want to keep it there. It will pork fat renders easier than beef, and it'll end up in my oil bucket in the smoker. So how do I want to do this? Let's see here. All right. Pivot that bad boy. Bear with us, folks. Some technical difficulties. Tighten that up. All right. Is that the good shot? I can't tell if that's a good shot or not.
That's pretty good.
All right. Yeah, because I want to get where the. All right. So here we go. Smoking there. We're using fireman's gloves, heat retardant. I'm just going to pull this puppy out, and then he's going to place the butts. So here we go with the shelf. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's move this first. Sorry. Let's move this right across that spine. You can just pick it right up. All right, so that's our brisket. It's about 11-pound brisket. This is our flat and this is our point. All right, so let's fat down right there, and then we're gonna. There we go. We also have to check for clearance. Yep, it fits.
of meat.
Yeah, it is. The awkward moment where you don't think you're gonna get everything in. Woo. That's weird. I have to do some rearranging here because we got to get this stuff's gotta. Yeah, get like 8 racks of ribs in here, and 4 fit here. So I'm wondering if this will fit here. Nope. Stand by, folks. We're just we're playing Tetris right now. Gotta play Tetris. Figure out how to leave that gap. Can't have them touching. That's the iffy part. There's no way to manipulate a rack of ribs in there. This will be fun. Figure out later. We might have to do some. Just straight up in the oven. It's a lot of meat right there. You guys wrap the meat soon. There's 2 ways of thinking about wrapping meat. And I don't have the monitor in front of me. It's over here, so I apologize for getting back to you so late. I don't know when you asked that question, but there are 2 ways of thinking on the wrapping for the Texas crutch. You can either wait 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours, and then wrap it, or you wait till 155 degrees Fahrenheit and then wrap it. Either one works. But you always want to wrap it after it stops collecting smoke, because it just gets bitter. If you've ever had bitter barbecue, it's because somebody left it smoking for way too long. All right, I'll close this back down. I don't know if I might take 2 butts and take them in the oven rather than. Alright, we're gonna do the ribs next. I thought I had more. I thought I had more space, and I did not have more space. It's horrible. All right. You could just wipe that in there.
Into there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next, guys, we're going to be doing some St. Louis style ribs. That's good. It's going to be messing again. Same thing. We're going to use... Alright, so next, we're going to do some baby back... Or sorry, not baby back. St. Louis style ribs. We're going to use the same technique, except we're going to use different rub. So this rub is a coffee ground rub. Adds a little, it's a very unique flavor. It's not straight up Starbucks. It really isn't. How many do we have? Is that all of them?
That's all.
Shit. Okay, so we have 10 racks of
8.
I thought it was 8. It is 10. Shit. Yeah, those butts are gonna end up in the oven, and because I'd rather have smoked ribs than smoked butts. Woo. So guys, I thought I had like twice as much smoker as I did, so I bought all this meat and I do not have the capability of holding it. So we're gonna keep those butts smoking as we prep these, and then we're gonna let these rest for a little bit, and then we're gonna talk barbecue. While you're opening that, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Stand by, folks. Had another Gatorade, and I do not.
There's a lot of ribs here.
It's not a lot, is it? If anybody has any barbecue related questions or culinary related questions, go ahead and ask them. So you folks know this is going to be a two-part. It's going to be a two-part series, a two-part stream. This is going to go on. Well, it's going to go on all night. I have an event that I'm I'm providing this meat for at 1 o'clock p.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. So, unfortunately, like a cooking show, I can't sit here and go, this is how you prep the meat, and here's what it looks like in 12 hours. I cannot do that, unfortunately. So this stream's gonna go on for about another hour until all the meat and everything is either in the oven or prepped, and then we'll probably pick up again tomorrow about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you guys can actually see the final product. So we're doing 7 proteins in this smoke. We're doing brisket. We're doing St. Louis ribs. You're getting smoked.
A little bit, yeah.
The smoke's getting in your face. We're gonna do some chicken. We're gonna do some salmon, and then we're gonna do hot dogs and hamburgers at the end. Of course, we're not gonna smoke those. We'll grill them. But we're doing 7 proteins this event, and I wonder if I can pull up the organizational chart. Stand by, guys. Alright, so let me get this out of the way real quick. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to show you guys the organization that you have to pull something like this off. So this meat chart is what we call a Gantt chart. This meat chart is what we call a Gantt chart. And basically it's like project management 101. So, we'll wait for this car to go by here. Sorry guys, I'm only working with one monitor, so bear with me. So yeah, here's a Gantt chart. So here's a linear timeline of what's going on. And then in this category is each protein. So we started at 10 o'clock and we started prepping the smoker to get ready. Then the brisket takes the most time. Brisket takes about 2 hours per pound. So we got that brisket going. The chicken is going to marinate for a few hours. The salmon is going to brine for a few hours. We're working on the pulled pork right now. I'm sorry, we've already done the pork. We're working on the ribs. The ribs are supposed to be done somewhere between 1 and 2 o'clock. It is 1:50, so we're running a little bit late. But what we did was we added a bumper of hold time. And hold is kind of like, hold is when you take the meat out of the oven or out of the smoker, you wrap it in a towel and you put it in a cooler and you let it sit there and baste in its own juices to get more tender. Alright, so here we are. Open up the chat room again. You're interested in the coffee rub. Sorry, like I said, our setup here is kind of whack. It's very last minute. Oh, that's not it. Woo. So all of our rubs are bought at the Pepper Palace. I don't know how many locations they have, but the entire store is nothing but hot sauces, rubs, barbecue, just everything you ever wanted to try new flavored meats out. Now, the ingredients: sugar, salt, garlic, mustard, chili pepper, black pepper, coffee grounds, chipotle pepper, and other spices. That other spices is what keeps this like woo, like secret recipe kind of thing. If you do not have a Pepper Palace in your in your town, in your city, or in your state, I don't know how many there are. I know there's one smack dab in the French Quarter in Louisiana. That's where I went down to Louisiana and I saw them, and I thought they were a Louisiana thing. And then we're up here in Maryland, and there's two in Maryland, so that's where I go. But you can go to Pepper Palace. See if there's a .com on here. Yeah, pepperpalace.com, and you can order it. And yet, like he said, these small ones are $9. They have a lot of large variations. This one's 26 ounces and not 18 ounces. And this one's $20. So, all right. With the ribs, I'm going to use that coffee, and I'm also going to use. I'm sorry, I'm not going to use the coffee. I use the coffee for the brisket. I'm going to use honey barbecue rub and honey rub that butt. Once again, these are all Pepper Palace brand rubs. So you can check them out. They're amazing. One whole one of these can do about 10 slabs of ribs. So we're gonna do that right now, actually. All right. Same deal as before. Mustard as the base. Mustard is the binding agent between the pork and the spices. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. And we're gonna do a mixture. We're not gonna do like one on one side, one on the other. We're just gonna. I mean, I could technically pour one in the other and shake it up, but these are gonna be empty before we're done doing all the meat. So I hope that answers your question about the rub. I appreciate your questions, guys.
What do you want more time?
Huh?
You gonna put it on this one right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I guess we could do that. Yeah, because as soon as... Now, I'm not going to do it as I'm not going to do it as crazy as I did the other one, because I'm doing it twice. So if I do it light twice on each side, it's going to finally be heavy. I don't want to do heavy and then more spices. So if you notice that I'm not sprinkling it on quite as much, that's why. Now, when we're done these four, we're gonna stick them immediately on the smoker, because I want to stay on our schedule. Now, honey's a really good spice for smoking. Dehydrated honey is a really good spice, or a really good ingredient for smoking. You do not want to get into getting a lot of sugar immediately on there, because these things are going on at 1 o'clock and they're coming off at 10 o'clock. So they're going to be in here for 9 hours. You really don't want sugar like just straight up brown sugar or regular white sugar. You don't want that in the smoker for 9 hours, because it's going to get bitter. It's just gonna get gnarly on you. Come on. The hell? Technical difficulties. There we go. That my sound effects? Yeah. Another thing you noticed is we open this up. Okay, so let's talk ribs for a second. There's two kinds of ribs in the world of barbecue. There's the fall off the bone, just amazing, just gooey rib, and then there's the competition rib. Unfortunately, gooey fall off the bone ribs don't look good. So you never see like fall off the bone ribs in competition. You always see them. They're cut very, very like one rib. It almost looks Lego blockish. To get competition ribs, you use a 3-2-1 method. I know that verbally, but I don't know actually what the 3-2-1 method is. I want to say it's like 3 hours smoke, 2 hours wrap, and then 1 hour smoke again. I'm not exactly sure. That's not the way we're doing it here. We're going to cook these for 3 hours. I'm sorry, we're going to smoke these for 3 hours, and then we're going to Texas crutch, wrap them in foil. When we wrap them in foil, we're going to introduce some light brown sugar, and to keep that stuck on, we're going to add some sorry, I'm getting out of order here. We're going to add some light brown sugar, and we're going to add some Parquet squirt butter. I'll show you guys that in a second here. The Parquet adds to the fat, adds to the flavor, and then we're going to add a little bit of honey and then some brown sugar. It's going to add a little bit of gooey bark. I think that's it, right?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to bear with us. Let's move this around a little bit again. Anybody asking questions? All right. Come on. There we go. All right. Woo! It's already getting dark. All right. So, talking about the two different kinds of ribs, you will notice that we did not take the membrane off the bottom of the ribs. There is a piece of some sort of tissue between the ribs and the lungs of a pig. So during competition, you're only cooking for 5 hours. You're not cooking for 9. And if you have this membrane here during a competition cook, your ribs are going to be horribly rubbery when somebody takes a bite out of it. I'm going to leave a little space for some smoke. Put that in there. So this is what we got so far. We got 40 pounds of butts, 15 pounds of brisket, and 2 whole pigs. 2 whole ribs. 2 whole pig ribs. Never mind, I can't fucking talk. It's 1 o'clock, people. There we go. And it's been raining all day and we're walking around in mud. I think my feet are pickled. I'm gonna hold this down right here. Oh. So